For this next section of Module 4, we'll be covering some of the requirements and protocols for proper monitoring of client visits. Let's begin. Confidentiality considerations during the monitoring process are important because of the act of monitoring poses its own risk to confidentiality. HOPL monitoring agents must review materials through the course of the monitoring process, such as HIV status, documentation, housing plans, and financial records. Monitors, therefore, will have access to confidential client information in order to verify that eligible services are being delivered to eligible clients. How confidentiality is handled when you're out there in the field is going to be dependent on the protocols and the guidelines placed in your agency. In this slide right here, you'll see best practices to abide by for the monitoring process, including establishing written monitoring policies and procedures to ensure confidentiality, establishing confidentiality agreements between the monitoring agent and the entity being monitored, also limiting the number of staff that have access to view the files, as we mentioned in the previous section, allocating specific time period for reviewing confidential information, performing monitoring review in a private and secure location, and documenting who receives information and what exactly is being reviewed. As we reviewed in the previous section, it's important to never leave confidential files unattended at any time. Do not remove confidential information from the monitoring review and document the monitoring process or track who reviews information and what is reviewed. These are just some of the best practices for the monitoring process and can include many more depending on your agency. As you can see, I didn't review everything that is listed on this slide, but I do encourage you to take some time and read through these bullet points just to make sure you're familiarized and are aware of some of the best practices for the monitoring process. Well, this concludes Section 4 of Module 4. You may now proceed to the following section. Thanks.